The Bengals have added plenty of talent, both in free agency and the draft this offseason. Which veterans will make the biggest impact? What about this rookie class? It's time to get into that and much, much more right now on Enter the Jungle. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. He is Andrew Fox-Miller. I'm James Rapien, and this is Enter the Jungle. Catch us every single Tuesday at 8 Eastern right here on CBT, weekly on Bally Sports. We're part of the Big Play Network and presented by Tipico Sportsbook and Garage Beer. So crack open a cold one and get to Tipico Sportsbook today. And Andrew, let's dive into this offseason because there's a ton of new faces. The Bengals offseason program continues. Mandatory minicamp is just in a few weeks. And there's a lot of fresh faces, a lot of new faces. This is the impact episode of Enter the Jungle, if you will. And let's start with free agency, where the Bengals added some key pieces. The question is simple. Which free agent will have the biggest impact on the 2024 Cincinnati Bengals?
I'm going first on this one.
Oh, yeah. Pressure's on.
Oh, okay.
Leadoff hitter.
A true off-season episode for Enter the Jungle. I'm excited. Look, I think it's Geno Stone. Geno Stone.
Oh.
Never mind the fact that he was a steal in free agency. We could talk about that. It has nothing to do with impact, though. Look, I think he has an opportunity to inject both youth and experience being the key word here, into that secondary. I mean, you could even argue to a degree Von Bell, but he's on a one-year deal, so I'm not really going to count that at the moment. I think the safety room is the biggest improvement from where it was last year, and Geno Stone is the reason. I think the stats are going to show that he is going to be the impact player from a free agency standpoint.
Wow. Geno Stone. I know Lou Anarumo is certainly hoping that. What if I told you he's not in my top two? Would that shock you some?
Would it shock me? No. But I want to hear the top two before I decide for sure.
What's interesting about this is I think Geno Stone is a fine pick, and this is nothing anti-Geno Stone. I think it's a statement about what the Bengals did add in free agency and who they're banking on. And they're banking on multiple guys to come in and make huge impacts. Let's start with the guy who's making the most dough. Sheldon Rankins. Bringing him in, signing him to a 2-year contract, beating out the Houston Texans in a bidding war for his services. I think the expectations are high, and I think he is going to have the biggest impact. I think he is going to be disruptive. I think he's going to give them, from a versatility standpoint, from a pass rush standpoint on the interior, exactly what they've needed for quite some time. Does he replace DJ Reader? No. But I think Sheldon Rankins should be near the top of everyone's board when we look at what free agent did the Bengals sign that's going to make the biggest impact. And if he isn't, by the way, if he's not in the running for this title to win this Enter the Jungle award in December or early January, then something went wrong, quite frankly. Something went wrong that the Bengals didn't foresee, that we didn't foresee. And so I expect big things out of Sheldon Rankins. The other one, well, it's their biggest signing, literally, Trent Brown. I think he's the perfect fit, and I think he's someone that is going to come in and pass protect at an elite level and be a great fit in this pass-first offense. He's a good run blocker when he's dialed in, and he has every reason to be dialed in because it is a prove-it year for him. He needs to reestablish his value a bit, show the entire league that he's still a high-end offensive tackle, that he can stay healthy, and that he can play at a high level. And that's exactly what you want if you're the Bengals. A proven veteran that has the size, that has the style that fits your offense, that can come in here and protect Joe Burrow. It makes a ton of sense. And so it's almost highest paid and then one of the lowest paid for me. Sheldon Rankins, Trent Brown. I have high expectations for both of those guys.
Yeah, Rankins was certainly runner-up. I'm not going to argue anyone that's going to put him number one because I struggled to not take him overall over Geno Stone as well. So they're neck and neck in my world. Trent Brown, for sure, definitely crossing my mind. Can't miss him figuratively, literally, as far as impact on this team. But I kind of was factoring in the Mims into the equation and some of the rotational aspect. And I'm like, Positionally, though, if I look at safety and, again, defensive line for Rankins, I think that you're going to see the biggest jump in overall performance, output, whatever you want to call it.
Wow. You just going after my guy Dax, huh? Just
Oh, now we're singling out players, not positional groups. I see. Hey,
that's what you're doing.
hey, maybe Dax is going to be biggest impact at corner. I don't know.
I mean, I hope you're right. That's what the Bengals are certainly banking on. But no, Geno Stone is a good one. The other part of this, and we'll get to rookies in just a second. Could Mike Gesicki make a run for the top spot? Maybe. Maybe. I think there's a very good chance that we look up and he's got 8 touchdowns and he's a threat in the red zone, and he looks up and has 40, 50 catches this year. And so that's instant impact. And then the other one is Zach Moss, someone who I think is a really good fit in this offense, was explosive as a runner last year, and is just in great shape, ready to go, ready to prove himself, I think, and establish himself. Maybe not as the lead back, you have Chase Brown, but as like the 1A in this backfield where there's no true lead back and it's a clear running back by committee. The point is I think I really like what the Bengals did in free agency. I think all the pieces fit, and I can see scenarios where Geno Stone, by the way, if he has 7 picks like he did a year ago,
right?
Well, yeah, we're talking about him having that type of impact where he could be the top guy. So it's realistic that I think at least 3 of these free agent signings could be the top spot. And then after that, Mike Gesicki, Zach Moss, well, they could get on the podium. They could get in the top 3, and that's a heck of a free agent haul. Maybe one doesn't work out, but I'm pretty bullish on these guys. I don't think there are going to be many, and I'm not trying to be mean to Nick Scott because I actually like Nick Scott, the human being, but it didn't work out here in Cincinnati. I don't think there's a Nick Scott necessarily in this free agent class. I think these guys are going to work out.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Up next, since Andrew couldn't agree more, we'll see if we agree on the rookies. The Bengals drafted 10 players in the 2024 NFL draft. Which one will have the biggest impact? We'll get to that next right here on Enter the Jungle. Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. I'm James Rapien. He is Andrew Fox Miller, and the Bengals added not 1, not 2, not 3, but 10 picks in the 2024 NFL draft. Which player will have the biggest impact? And Andrew, we will start with you again, but before we do, you could throw out an undrafted free agent as well.
Oh,
if you wanted to, if you thought there was one out there that's going to outperform all 10 draft picks, you could do that as well. I assume you'll be going with a draft pick.
I'm sticking with the terms of the 10 picks, but yeah, undrafted, I don't think it would change this. I think if we're talking biggest impact, if we're talking rookie season,
yep,
I think it's Jermaine Burton. I think he has the opportunity to put up numbers. I wouldn't be surprised. You may see some rookie of the week nods thrown his way this season. So I will say, though, I want it to be Kris Jenkins. I think it very well could. I don't think he's too far behind Burton. If someone were to argue Jenkins, I wouldn't argue that at all. So I think it's Burton. Now that's rookie season. Long term, I'm just going to throw this out there. Amarius Mims was taken in the first round for a reason. You know, assuming he reaches his potential, I think he takes it.
It's an interesting question because Burton has the quickest, it may be the easiest path to a ton of playing time, just because there's so many receivers on the field at once. Even in Kris Jenkins' case, you're talking about 2 defensive tackles on the field. Receiver-wise, this Bengals team could throw out 4 receivers pretty regularly. And so there's a real good chance that he ends up having a huge impact. But I think with Kris Jenkins, he's so unique. By the way, I go one-on-one with Kris Jenkins coming up in just a few minutes. He's so unique in what he brings versus these other defensive tackles. And I think he has some explosion and athleticism that we didn't necessarily see from a pass rush standpoint at Michigan. And so I think he can impact that. I think he fits well with Sheldon Rankins, fits well with the other rookie, McKinley Jackson, fits well with, if you want to roll him out there with Zach Carter, obviously roll him out there with BJ Hill. BJ Hill's going to start, by the way, alongside Rankins. But I think Kris Jenkins is going to be the third guy. And that's why I think he's going to have the biggest impact. Because if he hits the way I think he's going to, he can be the difference maker in some of these games against the Baltimore Ravens, against the Cleveland Browns, against the Kansas City Chiefs in week 2. Like, they are banking on him to have an instant impact. And I think he's capable of doing that. I mentioned I talked one-on-one with him, and you'll see that interview coming up in just a second. Before I was doing that, what was he doing? Or before I started to interview him and went up to him and asked him for an interview, he's watching film on his iPad. And it's something really small, but after a really hot practice, when guys are showering and trying to get something to eat and all of those things, he's sitting there watching film on his iPad as media is rolling in. And I don't think he was doing that for show, because he watched it for 15 minutes while I was joking with Amarius and then interviewing Jermaine and all of these things before being like, all right, I am going to bother you now for a one-on-one. So I think he's made of the right stuff. I think he's high character. I think he has the talent and athleticism. Is he a true nose tackle like DJ Reader? No. But is he going to have a huge impact? I think so. And I think that really all three guys in the first three picks could have a huge impact. If Amarius is called upon, Jermaine is going to be called upon for sure. And I think Kris Jenkins will be called upon early in the season as well. Up next, it's time to get to our one-on-one interview with Kris Jenkins, the Bengals' second-round pick. That's next on Enter the Jungle. Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. It's time to get to my one-on-one conversation with Bengals' second-round pick, Kris Jenkins. In the Bengals locker room with Kris Jenkins. Kris, few weeks here in the locker room, few weeks as a Bengal. How's it feel, and how's the acclimation process been?
It feels great. It's been a great acclimation process. I mean, the vets have been awesome. The coaches have been awesome. We're just trying to get used to the new system and performing to the best of our ability every single day.
What's the biggest thing you've learned, or things you've learned over the past couple of weeks?
Things really is just routine, having that type of routine and being a professional over the past couple of weeks. And, like I said, we got the vets in the locker room to show us, and they've been, guiding us, and we've been sponges through the whole process. So, it's been a great process, and definitely feel like we're covering a little bit of ground.
What veterans have taken you under their wing the most?
Really, like the whole D-line room. I mean, just like, the entire D-line room from Sam to to Zach to BJ, like Trey, like all of them. They've been just, watching over us, giving them tips, just pushing us to be better version of ourselves.
How valuable is it to have McKinley here as well? Have another rookie that was drafted one round later. You guys are in the same defensive tackle room. You guys can kind of grow together.
Oh, yeah, it's very valuable. He's a dog. I mean, he's sitting right over there. He's a dog. So he comes in with that work ethic every single day, and it pushes me and it pushes all of us to do better. So, we're really happy to have him.
I think all of the fans that have seen you on camera, heard your interviews, all of those things, they see that. They see your smile. They say, has it always been that way? Have you always had this attitude where you're smiling ear to ear?
No, absolutely. I mean, every single day is a blessing to be here. So, I'm just like, trying to maximize the opportunity that I've been blessed with. But, like internally, externally, I always got a smile on my face because this is a dream right here.
You were in a scrum, I think it was after rookie mini camp, and there were a bunch of reporters around you, and you said, "Houday means everything to me." I believe that was the quote. Did you see all the reaction to that on social media by chance?
Well, my fam has a group chat, and they were sure to put the videos in the group chat and stuff, so I kind of got a gist of it. But like I'm nothing but respect and like nothing but appreciation from my end to Houday Nation, because I've received nothing but love and support.
That's what I was going to say. Have you felt the love and the excitement from the fans already? Obviously, they haven't seen you play yet.
No, absolutely. Like, I haven't done anything yet, but yeah, already, like, I've experienced all the, even if it's just walking outside, going to walk by the river or explore the city, I feel that. I feel all that love, and we all do. It's awesome. So, like I said, shout out to Houday Nation, because we really appreciate it, man. Y'all don't even understand.
Right now, you guys aren't even in OTAs yet. It's still just training stuff and then mandatory starts. What is your mindset with each one of these practices, day in and day out? Because they're not long sessions or anything like that, but obviously I'm sure you want to get something out of them.
Like I said, just maximizing the opportunity and really just, like I said, trying to be a better version of ourselves than the one we came in as the day before, if that makes sense. Like, just trying to build rather than take off, just like we said, like, we got the coaches to do it, we got the vets to do it, so we're finding something to, like, pick at every single day.
One thing when the rookies come in with every team, but it's your combine training and your training for the draft process, and now you're getting back to football, Is your body going through that right now? Are you going through that right now, or is that you're ready to go?
Nah, yeah. Oh, yeah. We ready to go, man. I mean, we got the training facility. Like, I've never even seen cryotherapy before or red light therapy, but we have that here. So we have access if our body, feels a little sore after the we're right back at it, ready to roll. Like, it's insane here. Like, the technology is lit.
Have you done the red light yet, or the
Yes, and I went to sleep. But yes, it was awesome. I did.
You fell asleep?
Oh, I set an alarm in advance. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, it's the technology here is, yes. Surprisingly, yes.
Wow, I went there. So you describe it for our viewers.
It's like a red light tanning bed that has like health properties. I think it helps you heal faster. I'm no trainer myself, but all I do know is I woke, like, every time I've done that, I woke up feeling 10 times better. So it works.
So we're going to see Kris Jenkins in the red light therapy regularly, week in and week out.
Oh, you're going to see me sleep in the red light room regularly. But yeah, no, for sure.
How long are you in there?
Probably about 20 minutes.
And you notice a difference?
Absolutely. Yeah, like between that cryotherapy, I've never even done that before, but having access to that through the trainers, like, they take care of us.
Kris, I appreciate the time. I could see your smile the whole time. I know fans are excited that you're in town, so I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate it and appreciate y'all, man.
Really good stuff from Bengals second rounder Kris Jenkins. Up next, one Bengals player showed off his reporter skills. A fan favorite shared arguably the best answer of the offseason, and Joe Burrow's hair continues to take the internet by storm. That and more coming up on Enter the Jungle. Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. He's Andrew Fox Miller. I'm James Rapien. And before we get to what I think is the best response, best answer from a Bengals player this offseason, let's talk about Joe Burrow's hair for a minute or so, Andrew, because Joe Burrow's hair, I was asked about the photo that went viral on multiple radio interviews, asked if it was real. Like, what's going on with Joe Burrow's hair? So the answer is it isn't real. That's fake. That is something from the Twilight Zone, complete fiction, as they say.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this was over a week ago, but we really wanted to comment on this. I wanted to comment on it. I mean, look, anything Joe Burrow goes viral, that's not surprising. It's to a certain degree, especially Joe Burrow's hair going viral, also probably not a surprise. So that's not just an off-season statement, by the way. That's Joe Burrow season, which is perpetual. And for whatever reason, it gets more and more hype in the offseason, I suppose. But regardless, the media ran wild with this. And it wasn't hard to put it together, by the way. We pretty much saw Burrow at least once a month since his injury in November, leading up to this very month. You could post current pictures all you want and say, look, his hair's not long. Okay, well, maybe it was taken in March. No, we saw him pretty much every month. It's not hard to figure out. Social media is wild.
It is. It's so wild. And there were a lot of people that thought it was real. I'll put it that way. I'm not naming names.
Hey,
there were people that thought it was real.
I'll give him this. It was perfect for memes. So perfect for memes. The Anakin Skywalker, all of it. It was perfect.
Joe Skywalker. I like it. All right, let's get to the best answer. And it really is. This is one of my favorite moments of the offseason, maybe my favorite moment up to this point. Last week, Allan, George, Cam Taylor-Britt. Let's just get to it, Andrew.
Someone in the back. Yeah, someone's there. How you doing? Could you tell me who is your favorite teammate on the team and who is your least favorite teammate on the team?
Favorite teammate on the team, I have to go with Allan George. We have kind of connection. He's from Alabama as well. We came in together. We've been toughing it out, with each other on and off the field, throughout the years. Least like teammate, probably Jordan Battle. He's right next to my locker, and he just, he annoys me sometimes, but he's a great kid,
I'm dead. There's so many things to it. First, you have Allan George's accent.
Could you tell me who is your favorite teammate on the team and who is your least favorite teammate on the team?
Which, no, that isn't real either, much like Joe Burrow's hair. And yet it sounds very, very real. And he continued and proceeded to talk to me after that interview for like 5 minutes in the accent. So guess what? Interview with Allan George coming soon. in that accent only. Otherwise, I will not interview you, Allan. I want that accent.
He's method. Is that what you're saying? Like what?
Clearly.
What was the appeal of the accent? Is like Trent Krim of the Bengals media.
I think he was just trying to throw off Cam, and that's what's great about this. Favorite teammate, least favorite teammate. You know how many guys in that locker room would never have named a least favorite teammate? The fact that Cam was able to, best answer all offseason, not only name Allan George with a straight face and a smile, but a straight face, and then go into, my least favorite is Jordan Battle, who wasn't in the room knowing that Jordan was going to get tagged, knowing that Jordan would see it. It's my favorite. I love it. I love everything about it.
Can we get Allan George at more locker room scrums is what I'm calling for. All right.
I want him to ask Joe Burrow questions with that accent.
Ooh, yeah. At the podium, get him just, maybe even if it was the same question every time, I think I'd still be pretty happy.
Allan George one-on-one with Joe Burrow next week on Enter the Jungle. That
with the accent,
what dreams are made of. With the accent, of course. He's Andrew Fox Miller. I'm James Rapien. That's going to do it for us this week. We will be back next week at 8 Eastern right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Enter the Jungle.